And we're on. Excellent. Welcome, everybody. Welcome, Bert. This is, of course, season 6 of IFB Interfleet Broadcasting, our award-winning pop culture, sci-fi, and news entertainment channel. I'm New York Pete, and with me tonight is sitting in for Tipsy is none other than sci-fi award-winning author Bert-Oliver Bomer, who's also a segment producer here on IFB with Bert's Battlestar Briefing. And thanks for sitting in, Bert. I appreciate you helping out. You know that this is our 70s, 80s TV, movie, cartoon, comic book, and novel, and of course convention, corner of the universe. And we bring this to everybody, and we share it because we lived it, we grew up with it as you did, and you have a unique a perspective which we talk about here and there, but we're going to get into more as you come back. And I also wanted to mention that we all happen to be really big Battlestar Galactica fans. So, Bert, welcome.
Thank you very much. And yeah, thanks for letting me in. Sitting in for the Tipsy Toaster. Got lots of alcohol ready here. So I'm completely prepared to fill the row.
Absolutely. All right. Since you're ready, the fans are here. Everybody's on. We'll actually do the toast. So here's to all the fans. Thanks for tuning in. Thank you for you guys watching us later, to the tune of thousands, which is, remarkable around the world. So thank you guys. Bert, we have our saying here.
Fans, fuel the fleet. Here's Absolutely. To you.
Here's to you guys. Thank you, buddy. All right. So look, everybody is here. Our usual Lola's and Rick, Paul, Commander Kane, Chuck, and let's see. I saw a couple of others. Erica Riley, Chris Laskowski from Down Under, and Ken. Hey, Ken, thanks for dropping in live, guys. I see you up here, and I'm trying to stay on board. So I'm playing. Right, I'm pretending to be Tipsy, so I'm doing the boards and everything else. We have a full house, right, Bert? We have Tiny Bean, we have Chris Fian, we have Emile Smith. So we have a lot of guests. We have a lot of great stuff. So I guess we'll just jump in and we'll do our Star Wars update. And eventually we're going to have a lot of other stuff sometime in the future. Mr. Chris Fian will be able to fill us in on some of the other great things that he does, but I know he always has a great update for us. And Star Wars is alive and well. And I know, Bert, you have a very soft spot for Star Wars.
Absolutely. Yeah. Brought a few of my collectibles out here today to have them really close. Yeah, big Star Wars fan ever since '77. So the Star Wars fandom, it just came this year earlier before the Battlestar fandom. So in terms of collectibles, all my stuff is mostly Star Wars. I have to shamefully admit. I was a kid we weren't poor when I grew up, but money was a limited resource. So my parents would finance one crazy collection, not two. So Star Wars was a year early. Yeah, there are land speeders and vampires and Skywalkers and lots of figurines. Actually, all of them. As I said, crazy collection.
Love it. We love all of it. And you promised that eventually we're going to do that. We're going to try to showcase some of your pieces, which you've done. You've brought some of your stuff out, but eventually we're going to have to do a little bit more because you have a very extensive collection of original Star Wars items, pieces, toys. So we'll get to that.
I collected them basically from the beginning, and I got basically everything that's a Kenner toy, figurine, playset, or toy, small, large. So all the originals I have. Of course, I got them when I was young, so some of the stuff has been played with. They are in good condition, but sometimes you know how it is. They miss the box. right? So
Yeah,
and,
so you gotta get the box, man.
if this Darth Vader, where the lightsaber's still intact, if that will be still, in the box, it will be 20 times the value. But hey, I played with it. I had my fun, so it's all good.
Well, speaking of Star Wars, we have none other than Mr. Chris Fian from the Empire City Garrison, which is under the 501st, and he's going to do our Star Wars update. So, Chris, welcome back to IFB. You're home away from home. How's it going?
How you doing? We're glad to be here.
So, what do you got for us today?
Unbelievable news that we've been waiting for months. We had talked about over the past 6 months that Kathleen Kennedy was resigning.
Yes.
She's the current head of Lucasfilm. And lover or hater, people wanted some change. People didn't like the direction that Star Wars is heading. The last two series kind of flopped. Andor, of course, was a success, but Skeleton Crew did not do very well. The other show, The Acolyte, did absolutely terrible and didn't get a second season. So people are kind of screaming for a new direction, and she had announced that she was retiring the end of the year. Well, the big news did come out, and it was what everybody was pretty much theorizing about. I think back 6 months ago, we were talking about the possible replacements being floated around were Dave Filoni and Lin-Wen Brennan. They're actually going to be co-presidents, with Dave Filoni taking the helm as the creative director, and Lin-Wen Brennan taking direction as more of the executive branch of running the company. So she'll be handling the budgets, handling the day-to-day business aspect, while he'll be handling more of the creative aspects, which is a perfect role for him. Dave Filoni is responsible for the Clone Wars. He's very responsible for much of The Mandalorian and Book of Boba Fett and the new Mandalorian movie. And he's going to be having another movie coming out at some point in the future that's going to be led by him. I think he's the perfect choice. He lives and breathes Star Wars, and he's a fan through and through. So I think he's a perfect choice, and we'll have to see what's going to come next for Star Wars. We'll probably get a lot of information around May. Usually around May the 4th, they have a lot of releases of new information about what their new projects are, maybe what new directions they're going to be taking. And around May 11th, May 12th, they have what they call their upfront presentation, when Disney pretty much lays out everything that they're doing for the next 12 months. So we'll be getting a lot of information mid-year as to how this might impact the future of some of the projects that were in the pipeline for Star Wars in the coming year. So keep your eyes peeled, and I'll keep you informed of any new updates that I hear going on in the Star Wars universe on that front. The other big news that just came out in the past week was that they are finally realizing that Galaxy's Edge kind of sucks and didn't really please a lot of the original trilogy fans. And they're bringing in regular stormtroopers and Darth Vader into the mix at the California Galaxy's Edge.
Oh.
This was huge news to Star Wars fans. It's like they finally got the memo. Hey, this is good, but not exactly what we wanted. They're going to be redesigning Galaxy's Edge over the next couple of months and going to unveil in April a newly redesigned Galaxy's Edge. It's still going to be Batuu, but it's going to be Batuu more in a different timeline, more around the timeline of The Mandalorian, right around the end of the original trilogy, right going into before the First Order. They're actually renaming the First Order outpost that's currently called First Order Surplus, the main souvenir shop that's right when you walk into Galaxy's Edge, is now going to be called the Black Spire Surplus, and is going to feature merchandise from all the entire Star Wars franchise. It's going to have stuff from the prequels, stuff from the original trilogy, stuff from the sequels. A little bit of everything is going to be in that store. So it is a complete rethinking of that space and trying to incorporate all elements of different timelines of Star Wars into it. Furthermore, and I want to mention, they're right now only doing it to the one in California. So I think they're going to test it out for 6 months to a year, see how it plays out, see what the reactions are, see what people think about the new characters interacting with folks. and then see if they're going to apply that to the Walt Disney World in Florida. So that might be a delay of 6 months to a year. But I think if the feedback is positive, I think we can see that coming to the one in Florida as well. The other big news is in both Millennium Falcon Smugglers runs, they're adding new storylines and new elements that are going to incorporate the Mandalorian and Grogu. So they're really pushing hard on this new Mandalorian and Grogu movie that's coming out in May. And in May, the beginning of May, they're going to release these new missions and new elements of the Millennium Falcon Smugglers run that's going to incorporate that into the storyline and into the experience itself. This isn't the first time they've done something like this. They've already done that to the Star Tours ride. They've added Ahsoka, they've added Mandalorian, they've added some other elements to that. And that's a constant evolving experience. They always are open to add new elements to that. This is the first time they're changing the Smuggler's Run, and I think it's going to be for the better. Hopefully, they'll incorporate more original trilogy elements into it too, and I think everybody would be very pleased with that. But starting with the Mandalorian and Grogu, I think it's going to be a good step. And this is what Disney always wanted. Disney didn't want stuff to stay static. He always wanted it to evolve and more cater to the needs of the fans. And I think they're finally kind of getting that message that Galaxy's Edge wasn't really what most of the fans wanted. And I think they're making adjustments to try to meet that demand and that need. Also, if you're interested, this really isn't Star Wars related, but on Disney Plus, I think I had mentioned the Light and Magic documentary that they had on there. That's very interesting. That is Star Wars related. It's all about the formation of Industrial Light and Magic. There's a season 2 of that that's very informative, that talks all about special effects and the rise of computer technology and how that made the Phantom Menace possible. There's another interesting documentary I just happened to catch on Disney Plus, and I was thinking about it because of all this Disneyland stuff. It's called Disney Handcrafted, and it's about the construction of Walt Disney World 70 years ago in Anaheim, California. So it's really interesting to see Disneyland go from just a plot of land, and it's all color footage, some of which has never been seen by the public before. They had documented the entire process from when they first broke ground to when the buildings were being built, to when the roads were being built, to all the problems that they had. They built that entire initial park in 1 year. They planned it for about a decade, but they built it from groundbreaking to when they opened in 1 year. And it's fascinating to watch this documentary and see how Walt Disney managed to accomplish that. So if you're interested in just Disney stuff in general, it's a great documentary to check out on Disney Plus. For other Star Wars news, there's a lot of productions in the works. Ahsoka did wrap filming a few months ago. They're in post-production now. We're hoping that maybe we'll get to see the first episode before the end of the year, but the good money's on probably early next year. I don't think they're going to finish up all the post-production in time to get it out, and they might not want it conflicting with the hype around The Mandalorian. So they might keep that in their back pocket for early in 2027. They also have Star Wars Starfighter is supposedly just about wrapping up filming. That movie's not coming out until 2027, so we have a long wait for that to come out. But that's going to be starring Ryan Gosling, Matt Smith, Mia Goth. It's a completely brand new story that takes place after the sequels, so after the entire Rise of Skywalker. And it's not going to have any characters from any of the other sequels. So it's going to be pretty much a standalone adventure in that universe with all new characters. And I'm just hoping it's going to be a home run. The early reactions from some of the production people are it's going to be astounding. It's going to be amazing. I just hope it pays off, and I hope it's going to be a whole new chapter in Star Wars and maybe branch out into a whole other trilogy of movies that we can enjoy. So we just have to keep our fingers crossed for next year. Some other Star Wars productions that are going on right now. Star Wars Darth Maul Shadow Lord was just announced a few months ago. It's a new animated series that's coming on Disney Plus featuring our favorite villain, Darth Maul. And it's actually going to premiere sooner than was expected. It's actually going to premiere April 6th. And every week they're going to have 2 episodes until May the 4th, when the final 2 episodes of this 10-episode season will premiere. So you can look forward to that April 4th and check it out if you're a big Darth Maul fan. I think it's going to be incredible. It's going to probably fill in the gaps of how he survived and how he got new legs and how he became a Dark Lord doing stuff with Crimson Dawn, which we saw in the movie Solo. So it's going to be an interesting view and try and kind of bridge that gap. So I'm very interested to see how that turns out. And the trailer is available now if you'd like to check out the trailer and get a little taste of what it's going to be like. I think I had mentioned on the previous episode that Star Wars Visions is actually going to have a spin-off called Star Wars Visions: The Ninth Jedi, and that's going to be set for sometime later in 2026. It's an animated short series that's based off that short that was in the Star Wars Visions series. That series is just another look at Star Wars from kind of a Japanese anime type lens. And this story was so strong that they actually broke it off into its own spin-off, and they're going to do a whole season of just the characters from The Ninth Jedi. And that should be coming out sometime later this year. Some other interesting stuff that's going on currently is the new Jedi Order. The Rey movie is supposedly still in the works. I think at this point, there's no chance we're going to see that until 2028. They haven't even begun principal photography. Nothing's really known about exactly what that story is going to be about. We know it does take place in a similar timeline to when this Starfighter movie is supposed to take place. Whether there's going to be any kind of crossover, probably not, because the initial statements from the people involved with the Starfighter production are it's not going to have any of the sequel characters or any of the original trilogy characters. It's going to be a standalone, separate movie. So we'll have to see if maybe there is any bridging going on. And of course, Mandalorian comes out May 22nd. Everybody's very excited for that. We're probably going to get another trailer sometime before then. There's been a lot of hype around it. As I was mentioning, they're really hyping the heck out of this, incorporating it into the Smuggler's Run ride. So we can expect a lot of hype around this movie, and I just hope they can pull off something incredible. I'm a little disappointed that The Mandalorian's not continuing as a series. I love that series. I thought it was the strongest series on Disney Plus for Star Wars and really brought back that feel of the original trilogy. So I'm hoping the movie will continue that feel, and I'm hoping we get to see more of The Mandalorian. I'm actually really hoping in my heart of hearts that somehow at the end of this movie, Thrawn appears, which was the ending of the Ahsoka season. And then maybe Mandalorian appears somehow in season 2 of Ahsoka. And they actually have some crossover. That would be very exciting, but that's just a fan's dream. A fan can dare to dream that something like that would happen. But you never know. Filoni really knows the fans, and Jon Favreau really knows the fans. And they might pull something like that off. So I wouldn't put it past them. Let's hope that we get some really good content later this year. Just in some other news with Star Wars, they did announce that next year, February of 2027, for the 50th anniversary of Star Wars, they are re-releasing an uncut, unedited from the original print version of Star Wars in theaters to celebrate the 50th anniversary. So that's going to be very exciting. For many of us purists who know that Han shot first and that Jabba the Hutt was not in Star Wars in the original movie and want to see the raw original version of the movie before it became a special edition, it's going to be a very interesting experience getting to see that movie on the big screen in its original release. So that's going to be exciting, and that's scheduled for next year. So we have about a year to wait, but it'll be a great way to kick off 2027 and the 50th anniversary of Star Wars. In other Star Wars news, Spaceball 2 has wrapped, so we could hope to see Spaceballs 2 also in the 50th anniversary year next year. I don't think there's a hard release date, but I think it is going to be April or May of 2027, so that'll be exciting to see the new Mel Brooks comedy. People have been waiting now almost, I think it's been almost 30 years since the last one, and they've got most of the principal cast back, so it's going to be a very exciting trip to see another Spaceballs movie. There's also some things going on with Star Wars games. Star Wars Fate of the Old Republic is a new RPG that's being developed for 2027-28. There's a possible a new Jedi Order game featuring the character Cal Kates. As you may know, there are two games that have already been released, Fallen Order and Jedi Survivor, which were both very, very, very good games. They're going to build on those, and Respawn Entertainment, although they haven't released any hard dates or official announcement, they are supposedly working on a third game that's going to take place after the events of Order 66 and continue Cal's story. So that's exciting, and we might see that sometime in late 2027-28. Star Wars Eclipse is supposedly still in development from Quantic Dream. It's been in development for 4 years, so I'm not going to hold my breath on that one, but at some point they're claiming that they're still working on it and should have a release in the next year or so. So we'll keep our fingers crossed. As I've mentioned, I've been very disappointed in Star Wars games. Outlaws was good, but not great. It did get a new life on the Switch 2. Star Wars Outlaws was just released on the Switch 2 and was a massive hit on the Switch 2. It's very impressive that they managed to get that game of that quality on the Switch 2 and have it run at a reasonable capacity and good visuals. But the other game, Star Wars Beyond Victory, that was the pod racing game that was on the Oculus exclusively, was a huge disappointment. So I'm hoping for some more good Star Wars game content just to continue the adventures in the game front. One other piece of Star Wars news that might be news to some people. OpenAI has actually come to an agreement with Disney Lucasfilm and signed a 3-year deal that will allow Disney characters, including Star Wars characters, to be used in some OpenAI videos. This has been a big sticking point. If you've ever used any AI programs to make funny videos or fan videos or just played around with them, you usually get a message that says this content is copyrighted and cannot be used whenever you try to use Star Wars or a licensed thing or a Disney character. They're going to loosen that a little because they're trying to encourage some free expression, and they're getting paid from OpenAI for anybody who uses Disney characters or likenesses in their AI videos. So it's probably a win-win for Disney and Lucasfilm. They'll get some money out of it. OpenAI will get to have some of their users get to use some of those IPs in some of their content, and we'll see what happens. AI actually scares the heck out of me. I use a program called Sora to make funny videos on the phone, and they're getting a little too real. So I think it's going to be sooner than later that we're all replaced by some kind of AI bots in the future. But it's happening, and I'm just glad that Star Wars will be a part of it and be allowed to be part of that revolution. That's really all I have for new Star Wars news for January. Hopefully there'll be some great news coming out again in May, and anything that happens between now and then, I'll report on the next IFB broadcast that I attend. Stuff going on with the 501st Legion. We're always busy. We're already kicking off 2026 very strong. We've already done a couple of troops. We've had an armor party, which is when we all get together and help our fellow members build some of their costumes, and that was a great experience last weekend. And we have some great stuff coming up later this year. We have the Intrepid coming up on February 14th through the 16th on President's Weekend. So if you're in the New York area and want to head to the Intrepid during Kids Week, those first 3 days will be out in force on the Intrepid, probably 20 to 30 characters a day between us, the Rebel Legion, and the Saber Guild, and the Droid Builders. It's going to and the Mandalorian Mercs. It's going to be a party like you've never seen on Kids Week at the Intrepid. So if you're checking out the Intrepid Museum, please try to check it out during those 3 days. We're also doing the Islander game for Star Wars Night at USB Arena on March 1st. And we'll be doing our mini-con for the Cerebral Palsy Association on July 18th at Levittown Hall. So please check that out. I'm hoping the IFB guys can join us again. You were great help last time, and it's just a great community event that we put on behalf of the Cerebral Palsy Association, and we're hoping to continue that for the 5th year this year and raise some money for that worthy organization. We're also doing TrooperCon again at the same location, Levittown Hall, on September 13th. Great way to meet some 501st members if you're interested in joining. Just take some pictures with us, see some of our sets, find out more about the organization and what we have to offer, it's a great way to really meet us in a non-convention environment. We're there just to answer questions and to be there for fans. And if they're interested in joining the group, help them on their journey to try to get them started with their costumes. So come check that out. September 13th at Levittown Hall, our second annual TrooperCon. And of course, we're planning to be at New York Comic Con again this year in October. That's always a great event for us. We usually raise money for the Make-A-Wish Foundation and do Blast a Trooper and do photo ops. It's a great experience. So if you're going to be in the New York area and want to check out New York Comic Con, come look for us. We're usually in the fan area. Last time it was in the basement area for some reason, but we'll have more information once we get a spot there, and I'll pass that on to everybody. But if you're interested in the 501st Legion as a whole, you can check out 501st.com. And if you're interested in the 501st Legion in the New York area, please check out 501ecg.com for information about the 501st Empire City Garrison here in New York.
Outstanding. Well, Chris, thank you as usual. Thorough, perfect. I mean, you answered. I had a couple of questions I was going to ask you. You answered them. Yes, we will be participating in the mini-con, and we look forward to the next update. I assume you're going to be part of the Mandalorian premiere in New York City?
We don't know. We never know, but I'm hoping that we'll get asked to do some promotional stuff around that time. I'm certain we will, because usually they try to enlist all hands on deck for those kinds of things. So we're hoping we'll get tapped for that from Lucasfilm.
Keep us posted in case you're in between, your segment here on IFB, so that we could try to get down there and join you guys on the premiere would be great. So yeah,
we're very excited. I mean, it's been a while since there's been a new Star Wars movie, so it's very excited that we're getting a new movie in theaters on a property that I really do enjoy. I love The Mandalorian, and I'm just so excited that it's coming back this year.
Oh yeah, this is going to be great. Chris, here's to you.
For a movie for years. It's almost like in the olden days where everything was years away, and then everything was decades away. So I think the wait is something especially the old fans are familiar with. So
we had to wait 3 years between movies. People don't realize it was like a 3-year wait.
Yep.
That's right. Well, guys, thank you very much. Chris, as usual, out of the ballpark, and we look forward to the next one. So here's to you. Cheers.
Thanks,
Cheers,
guys.
Chris. Thank you so much. My head's still spinning. So many news.
Love it. Oh my God.
I try to get it all in there.
Oh, it's cool stuff. Thank you so much. All right, buddy. Take care. Look forward to having you again soon. We're going to follow you up then with, of course, Tiny Bean Tara, and then right after Tiny Bean's done, we're going to have our special guest on, and we're going to get right into the whole AI thing. And I'm glad that Bert, you're with us here too, because AI is something that figures in your book series that you have, and you kind right? I mean, you're into that stuff, and this, we are an AI friendly territory anyway. We see it as a tool. We believe that it's not going anywhere. I'm not and intimidated by AI. I think it's kind of cool. I've kind of experimented with doing a few things here and there, not big, but hey, so we're gonna have our special guest that'll come on in a little bit. But in the meantime, I have Tiny Bean Tara. So Tiny Bean is going to come up right now. Hey, Tiny Bean, what's up?
How are we doing, guys? Great to see you.
Yeah, doing great. I have your deck ready to go. And all the stuff that you usually cover is great. I've been trying to catch up on a lot of that as best I can. I also just quickly wanted to I'll do it now instead of later. You're going to shore leave with us.
so excited.
It's going to be great. And I'm pretty sure you may or may not have heard our last show. We had Jack Stauffer on, and Jack actually volunteered to be on the panel. So I'm reaching out to Shore Leave to make sure that they have the bandwidth so that he can come in on a Zoom call with us and he'll join us on stage, and hopefully he'll do the intro. Either way, he wants to be a part of it. He's volunteering. Obviously, we want him there.
Oh,
So yeah, we're working that, and you're going to be there, and a whole bunch of the others. Bert, I wish you were on the East Coast because we drag you into this, but it's going to be fantastic.
You'd have to drag me hard. Yeah, I would not volunteer for any of this. So.
Yes. So it's going to be fantastic. We're going to have a great time. But before you start, Tiny Bean, congratulations for some of the stuff that we've been getting in terms of our awards and recognition in the film festivals. We just Tower Protocol Resurrection. Right, we got best producers and best actor for Jeff Kirkland, and we put that up, and then of course we're doing a lot of great stuff, and you're a part of both the Stranded Warrior and the Tower Protocol. So thank you for doing that. Thank you for being a part of this, and we just it's great, and I'm watching a lot of the stuff that you do, and don't forget we have up your audio drama. So your character is the backstory to your character from the Tower Protocol. The audio drama's out there. It's free. So anybody who wants to listen, please go out there, and it's on IFB, it's on YouTube, and it's all about Tiny Bean, and you star in the audio drama. So.
I do. I love it. I just love the Tower Protocol universe. Is so cool. It really is.
Absolutely. So, all right. So look, I am going to take us off, and it's going to be you and your segment. So if you're ready.
All right, here we go. Well, hello, IFB. Great to be back. Welcome to Tiny Bean's Corner, where we discuss new, old, and otherwise interesting things for the fleet's potential viewing pleasure. I have scoured the offerings and pulled out some gems for you to enjoy during this frigidly cold winter. Let's start with upcoming news and previews. Hot off the presses, check out these first two set picks from the Highlander reboot with Henry Cavill. So exciting. I mean, these look awesome. Filming had been pushed back a bit due to Cavill sustaining an injury, but they are filming now, and the cast is outstanding. Russell Crowe, Dave Bautista, Jaimin Hunsu, Karen Gillan, and Jeremy Irons. No release date yet, guys, but you can bet I will be all over it. Now, in just around the corner news, we have a couple of great shows we followed last year starting up their second seasons. So let's start with Monarch: Legacy of Monsters, starring Kurt Russell with his son Wyatt Russell playing the same role in flashbacks. This action-filled monster-packed epic is a whole lot of fun. Season 1 ended on quite a cliffhanger, literally. So, can't wait to dive back into this one, guys. Check out the first season if you haven't yet. The second season will begin on February 27th on Apple TV. Next up, my sleeper hit and favorite new show from last year, Paradise, is coming back with season 2. Now, this one knocked my socks off. It was so much more than I anticipated it to be. If you haven't seen it yet, trust me, you want to give it a try. Just when you think you know what's going on and where it's headed, they turn it on its head. So, check this one out, guys. Starring Sterling K. Brown and Julianne Nicholson. I cannot wait to see what they have in store next. The second season will hit Monday, February 23rd on Hulu and Disney. Now, this next one is coming to theaters in a couple of weeks, and it looks like a hoot. Good luck, have fun, don't die. It's already getting stellar advanced buzz as a witty and insightful sci-fi, starring the always delightful and amazing Sam Rockwell. So, I mean, come on, it can't be bad. Sam Rockwell's in it. He's playing a man from the future who shows up in an LA diner and needs help to save the world from rogue AI. Sounds a bit like Terminator, doesn't it? What? They are saying that this one is much more of a weird romp. So think of it as one reviewer described as Terminator crossed with Brazil. You have my attention. Directed by Gore Verbinski, who brought us The Ring and Pirates of the Caribbean, this one looks like it is not to be missed. It will hit theaters February 13th. In reviews this week, this is the time of year where hopefully you can bundle up on the couch with some blankets and forget the cold outside and jump into some fun viewing. So I have some really cool gems for you. Let's start with one that is pure fun and guaranteed to put a smile on your face. Check out the documentary Mel Brooks, The 99-Year-Old Man. I defy you not to smile when you think of Mel Brooks, whether it's Young Frankenstein, Blazing Saddles, or Spaceballs. Mel's movies made a huge impact in our collective pop culture memories. And at 99 years old, Mel is as lively as ever. This two-part documentary takes a deep dive into his life and career, and it is an absolute delight. Check this one out, guys. You won't be sorry. It is on HBO Max. Now, I have recently had the pleasure of finally being able to see two films that I previewed last season in the corner and have finally come to streaming. Now, they couldn't be more different. One was one of the most disturbing films I have ever seen, and I was one of them, one was more insightful and charming, but yet they were both written by the same man. And they have one other thing in common. More on that later. Stephen King, as we know, is a prolific writer, primarily known for his horror work, but just as celebrated for his more insightful and introspective works like Stand By Me and The Green Mile. You never know what you're going to get, but the result is almost always pretty great. So let's start with The Long Walk. Based on one of Stephen King's novellas, it is set in a not-so-distant dystopian future where we are run by a military dictatorship and citizens live in abject poverty. But there is a chance out of this poverty-stricken life. If you are a young man between 18 and 23, you could be lucky enough to be chosen in a lottery to compete in The Long Walk. You and 50 other men will walk at a steady clip without stopping until there's only one left. Because if you stop for too long, you are shot. But if you are the one to survive, riches await along with one wish. This is an absolutely gut-wrenching watch, guys, as you get to know these boys, only to watch them get gunned down. It is a forerunner to the likes of The Hunger Games and Squid Game. King wrote it partly as an allegory to the draft, and he began writing it in high school. The actors here are stellar. Cooper Hoffman, every bit as amazing as his dad was, and David Johnson from Alien Romulus is spectacular. The stunner, of course, is the bad guy, the Major, played to terrifying perfection by none other than Luke Skywalker himself, Mark Hamill. He is pure evil here. Now, full disclosure, guys, they made some changes from the book. So if you are someone who doesn't like your books to be changed for film, well, here's your trigger warning. It did not bother me in the least. Check this one out, guys. It's riveting, it's terrifying, and ultimately has about as much heart as Shawshank or Stand By Me. The Long Walk is streaming now on Starz. Now, my second recommendation is Stephen King's The Life of Chuck. This one is really lovely. It's a sci-fi fantasy film so charming and light that you may even forget that it is commenting on some deep thought-provoking themes of life, death, and human consciousness. The structure is also unique. It goes in a kind of reverse chronological order. Lead actor Tom Hiddleston plays the title role here. He's absolutely brilliant. He's actually only in about 18 minutes of the film. Other standout actors like Matthew Lillard and Karen Gillan are charming, but I especially tip my hat to the return to the screen of 80s film star Mia Sara. Yeah, from Ferris Bueller, guys. And her lovable husband, played by, once again, the great Mark Hamill, in a role completely opposite his turn in The Long Walk. This film is charming and delightful and deep and introspective at the same time. Ably directed by one of our favorites in the corner, Mike Flanagan, who brought us The Haunting of Hill House, Dr. Sleep, and The Haunting of Bly Manor, he continues to slay, and he just never seems to disappoint. So there you have it, guys. Some great stuff to binge on a cold, snowy day. You'll laugh, you'll cry, and you can thank me later. Back to you, Pete.
Oh, I love it. I'm looking forward to a lot of that stuff that you talked about, right? In Paradise just blew my mind. I just finished watching Night Agent. I don't, I don't dedicate a lot of time to seeing a lot of what's out there, but I try to focus, and your recommendations are spot on. So
thank you.
That's Tiny Beans segment is, for me, it's the longest of the show. You're here for 15 minutes, and then it usually blows up for me and costs me like 25 hours to catch up with all the stuff you recommended.
You got to catch up between my couple of weeks.
And I'm always playing catch up. I'm rarely ahead of you with something like, oh, I've seen this before. No, most of the things, it's actually a real service for someone like me to watch your segment and go through it. It's like, oh yeah, I would have certainly missed that, because I'm missing more stuff than I'm, just randomly finding. So you get the essence out, you present it here, and then, I'll try to catch up until here's your next segment. Well done.
Oh, thank you so much, Bert. Yeah, I feel like, there is so much out there. It is so overwhelming. And if I can provide a little, look into things ahead and pick out some gems that I think y'all will appreciate, then my job is done.
Super helpful.
Love it.
Thank you.
Tiny Bean, thank you very, very much. We look forward to your next, stop and next visit. However, let's not forget that anyone that wants to meet Tiny Bean in person, this will be the first time that Tiny Bean comes out to a con and sits on the other side of the table. We're going to have free autographs. So there is going to be material from the Tower Protocol, no, not the Tower Protocol. We're going to do the Stranded Warrior instead. So Stranded Warrior, I'm going to have, courtesy of us at IFB, we're going to have some stuff to give away, and there'll be autographs of Tiny Bean and the other actors that were involved. So we look forward to seeing you again on IFB and in person at Shore Leave 46 in Lancaster, Pennsylvania. They're so kind enough, Bert, to give us a table, and we get to do the screening of our fan film, and we get to do the Q&A. Lorette and Herb. Yeah, I mean, Cassiopeia and Boomer will be there. So it's going to be a great, great time. And thank you for everything, Tiny Bean. Here's to you.
Thank you, guys. Fans fuel the fleet. I'll see you all soon.
Cheers. All right. Well, love it. You can tell everybody loves when Tiny Bean goes on and recommendations. I mean, if we kind of very, very quickly, once or twice over the years, we've talked about, Bert, how well her choices have panned out. Emmys, Oscars, whatever, or nominations at the minimum. So, I mean, she knows what she's talking about, and we're lucky to have her. So
the landscape of new stuff, of course, is enormous, and not everything is great, and some stuff has real potential. It's easy to overlook. Then, of course, there are the big productions that have all the marketing budget, and I think she always finds this great balance of Yeah, I've heard about this, but now I know more about it. Like Henry Cavill in the Highlander, that even I knew about because I'm a big Cavill fan. I thought he was The Witcher. He was not just in it; he was it. Liked him in many of his other roles, and well, also there's the Highlander, what's not to like. So this one I knew about, but now I know more. And then there were things she presented, not just today, but always does, where you're like, oh, I haven't really noticed this show. And then you watch the first episode and then oh my gosh, I'm on the hook again. So.
Yeah, no, 100%, 100%. And I mean, the Highlander, man, I got to, I was a big fan. I was a really big fan. So I'm really looking forward to, seeing the remake. And, in film school, I wrote a paper on, the impact of, Highlander and how it played out. And from then to
that's great.
today.
You look at the Highlander academically. Oh, that's
Yes,
awesome.
I did. Yes, I wrote a paper on it. And, there's a really good book that's out on it. I don't know if you have it, but I'll send you a link to it. It's it's inexpensive, but it's written from a fan's perspective. He got to interview everybody because, there was that lull in the interest. However, we are now ready to introduce our Emmy and VES award-winning VFX supervisor, Mr. Smith, who's waiting in the green room. And, he's been on IFB before, but he's coming back with an award for his short, Firebreaks, which we actually put on IFB. And I know a lot of us supported, and he won Best AI Film at the AI Artist Film Fest. So here's someone that is in the business, takes what he does seriously, is, into AI, but not just talk, right? So welcome to the show, Emile. It's great to see you again.
Hey guys, good to see you too. How are you doing? I mean, obviously well.
Listen, aside from the weather being a little on the extreme side, it's all good. We are super impressed. First time you came on, we did a lot of talking. You've been in the business. You've worked on some of the great stuff on some of the big franchises, Battlestar the 2003, Firefly, Star Trek, and a bunch of other things. And, from there to today, you've actually put together your own AI short film, which I've seen more than once, and I voted for it. I thought it was deserving. Firebreaks. So welcome back. Tell us, you've been up to stuff, so tell us what's up.
Thanks. Yeah. Firebreaks was what I've been concentrating on for the last, I don't know, I want to say 6 to 8 months. I did it as and there's so much bad AI out there. It's not bad. There's so much AI that's just people going, wow, AI, I want to do something and put it out, which is great. It gets people excited and gets them to be creative. I wanted to do something that felt like I could have gone out and shot it. Like I wanted it to feel real. It didn't have big monsters and huge fantasy and all kinds of stuff like that. It was a very simple story of a boy being rescued by a firefighter and what happens. So I wanted it to feel like I could have gone out, hired a crew and shot this. And I have not seen other people do stuff like that before. Maybe there's a ton of it out there. I have not seen any of it. So I thought it was pretty unique in that way that not other people are doing things quite like that I've seen. So that's the aspect I was coming at it from. And it's getting a lot of recognition. I won the best feature at that the AI Artist Film Festival, and it's in a bunch of other ones that have been selected. And, it's great. It's fantastic.
And it's really cool. So I was a judge at the Brooklyn Sci-Fi Film Festival, and I was given, the category of AI, shorts. First, it's like shorts, and then, under shorts subcategory was AI. Now, it wasn't all of them, but I got to see a lot of AI, and it runs the gambit, right? These AI shorts, it goes from, like a couple of minutes to, somebody pushing the envelope to like 8 or 9, and all I kept thinking was, man, you should have trimmed a couple of minutes. You kind of pushed it because your story kind of ended midway, but it was done well, and it just kind of, you stretched it out and you kind of killed it trying to overuse the AI thing. But it's a tool. Emile, you've talked about it plenty of times. It's a tool. Some people are still, they don't know what to do with it or how to handle it. Bert-Oliver embraced it in his the world that he's created for his award-winning sci-fi books, which are tremendous. And I know Bert, you're a big proponent for the use of it as a tool, and we kind of have some questions for you. So if you don't mind, we want to try to, Bert, you want to start it off?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. So my relationship with AI is interesting. I'm a computer scientist actually by academic background. So back in the 90s, I worked on some neural networks, and so I follow the rise of AI, the rise of the machines, with a split heart, right? Of course, being a writer, there's a lot of angst in my circles about AI, as it's in all creative circles. So whenever the discussion comes up, it usually gets heated, right, with lots of points of view. What I find for visual AI is that many times it seems the AI output is trying to get a very clean, refined picture, if you will, while I think your background, and as a family, we're just rewatching Battlestar Galactica, which had a very gritty kind of shaky cam documentary style. So quite the opposite. It wasn't clean. Can you replicate this kind of approach with current day AI models?
Yeah, absolutely. You can really do whatever you want. I think a lot of people who aren't filmmakers and they're coming into this kind of as someone new and they're experimenting and trying to do something cool, and that is fantastic. They don't necessarily think in their head like, I want to have a shaky camera, or they might think, well, that looks bad if I have a shaky camera, so I want to have everything perfect. So the camera's just moving perfectly smooth and gliding and perfect. And that's not, there's some movies and shows that do that, but not a lot. Usually there's a human aspect to the camera work. In Firebreaks, I think it's a pretty heavy human aspect to the camera work and the way it looks. It's not clean. It's dirty, and it's it's got ash everywhere. The camera's moving around kind of in the semi-documentary style. And it's like there's a camera guy walking around and holding it and kind of framing on the firefighter, and then stepping a couple steps over and framing on him. It's just in a matter of how you use the tool. Like when I was doing Firebreaks, I treated it like a movie where, I had so many outtakes. Like it was like I had they said to call them bins, like old film bins of like takes I didn't use, cut them out. And Pete, like you were saying, some of the AI stuff that's really long, I cut out probably at least 2 minutes of footage from Firebreaks just because it was too long. I had to trim it down. Just like any movie you shoot, your first cut's going to be too long, and you have to trim it. It's just the way it is. It's like an assembly cut. So I went from an assembly cut to my cut to, then I showed it to some people, got some feedback, and cut out a couple more things, added a couple little things, and treated it just like a regular, like anyone should treat any project that they're doing. That's an established path to go to do a film, and I just use the same path that everyone's used for decades.
That's incredible. But see, this is, not for nothing, you make it sound, it's so simple because you know exactly how to do it. It's like 1, 2, 3, right? And so people go to school to have to learn what you just said. That's how you do the real deal, right? And sometimes it takes a long time if you're not listening. If you're a filmmaker, guys, and you're tuning in, what you just heard is how it has to be done if you want to make a good product. There's got to be trial and error. But if you're not willing to edit down to get it to where it needs to be. And you can do this. It's right, Emil, there's this idea sometimes that people think, you know what, I need more time. And you can try to work on something forever and never get it out, but you got to know where to make these cuts.
You can't hold things too personally. You have to be willing to let certain things go.
You got to kill your babies, right?
Yeah, because I think some people are looking at it going, well, I spent money on this, so I want to use it somehow. And it's like, well, no, part of spending money is getting rid of it. Is knowing when to cut something that you experimented with and came up with something better, but that's money you spent on that thing that you're not using was a stepping stone to get where you needed to be.
So let me ask you this then, specifically towards, making the films AI wise like yours. So some of the shorts are being made in days rather than months in terms of, filming versus, harnessing AI power. What is the total render time versus prompting time for your project?
Oh, I spend way more time working on the prompts than the render time. Way more time, because the prompts are what gives you the result. The render time is going to be, I don't know, it could be 10 minutes. It could be, 20 minutes. But I mean, sometimes I'll spend a couple hours working on a prompt to get it right. Now, I mean, I may feed it through a few times, the same prompt, but I refine it, get a result, look at it, go, okay, that's not right. I need to refine the prompt and work on the same prompt and the same shot for, hours. It's all about the writing. I think people don't really realize that AI is inherently about being able to be a good writer. If you're not going to get across the descriptions you need. And I mean, Oliver, I'm sure you know that. It's like, and when you're a writer, you have to get the description and across to your audience as to what you're trying to convey. And you have to convey that to the AI renderer or the package to be able to give you back what you want. Just like if you were writing to your readers, you want to give them, so you get the feedback and your goal is to please them as an audience, to make them happy. And that's what you kind of have to do to the AI thing that's rendering your thing, is you have to make it happy to give you what you want.
Right,
that's an interesting take to assume the AI is your audience. That is, I've never really thought about it this way. Of course, yeah, you as a writer, there are many times no real limitations as you can set the scene, right? Unlike in a movie, especially if you go about it in a classic way, right? While it's in a cathedral, then you need a cathedral. If you need a huge space monster, you have to create a huge space monster. On the page, I can have both, right? The space monster can eat my cathedral, and for me, it's the same amount of effort to write it down. But for making a film, that of course it's a whole different ball game. Are you now at a stage where the story leads the AI, or are there still, since you treat it like an audience, certain restrictions? Where are we in this game?
The biggest restriction I find when it comes down to creating a cohesive story is the character consistency, like being able to have the same character from one scene to another scene to another scene. It's difficult. I mean, I bet in a year it's going to be solved, and you're going to be able to do it much easier than you are right now. But you have to have very specific prompts. You have to use the same generator because you're going to get different results. You can have the exact same prompt to get a character, but if you use it in like Kling as opposed to Veo, which are two different AI packages, they're going to be different people. So that's the biggest holdback, I think, to being able to do these narrative stories with AI. And it's getting better. It's gotten a lot better. In the last 3 months, it's gotten better. It's like it literally gets better like every week. There's new stuff coming out so fast. And that was the biggest challenge I found doing Firebreaks, was just the character consistency and getting it right. And, you do it and you go, okay, the guy, it's kind of like the guy, but it's not the same guy. So I got to go back and write a more descriptive, couple paragraphs about the guy that has to go in every single prompt. So it's the same person.
Wow. Emil, we have Chris Marshall worked, he does CG for, various type fan films and the like.
Cool.
And he's one of our good friends, supporters, worked on our fan film, and he's got a question that we're talking about prompts, and so I think it's right on the money here in terms of getting deeper into it. Talk about prompts. What is the best flow of grammar that you use that gets you as close to the bullseye in the first try?
Okay, well, first off, you're never going to get it in the first try.
Okay, good.
You're never going to get it that way.
Being honest, there you go.
Never change.
That's totally fair and straightforward. You're never going to get it on the first try. But it's I mean, these models are natural language, so you want to write it like you're writing a Oliver, like you're writing a paragraph in a book with the description. I mean, that's exactly how I write it. I write it like I'm writing a scene description in a script. Let me see if I can. I don't know if it'll take two. Might take. If I have 2 seconds, I can bring up a prompt.
Yeah, it'd be kind of cool.
You have 2 seconds, probably more than that.
It'd be awesome. So yeah, as a matter of fact, guys, I put up a link to the trailer. So if you guys get a chance, it's on YouTube. I shared the link, so it's on. It'll pop up if you guys are watching us on YouTube, or if you're watching us on Facebook. I shared it, so if you guys want to go see that, you can. Not now, but afterwards, you can go and watch the trailer for Firebreaks, which is phenomenal, guys, just phenomenal. And we'll get more into all of that, but right, we're going to get to see hopefully some of this live, right, as we talk. This is incredible. So this is almost like a lesson. It is a lesson, right? It's like almost like a master class, actually. And hey, Bert, imagine. I know that you've experimented with AI and some of your work, some of your actual world building. So I don't know. Imagine bringing this next level up and using that to maybe turn your books into an animated movie.
Yeah, it's been mostly used for research. So the framework of all the crazy ideas that's still out of the human brain, but a lot of the futuristic technologies, it's a lot easier to pull together sources this way and then double check them where they came from. So yeah, the words on the page are mine, but AI is in the book in terms of what I write about. So science fiction has been dealing with AI for a really long time, and now everybody, including the science fiction writers, are, oh my gosh, it's here. What are we going to do? So no. I think discussions like the one tonight and bringing on experts really helps for us collectively to figure out what we're going to do with it. What's the best way to move forward? And I think Emile might have a couple of things to show us there.
Yeah, I mean, like here's an example of one of the prompts for the female news reporter. Was at a wildfire roadblock, multiple fire trucks and flashing police cars form a backdrop while firefighters move through the thick smoke. Their emergency lights cut across the haze, glowing against the dusk sky. An Asian female news reporter stands in front of the emergency vehicles and personnel wearing an earpiece. She is dressed in a blue windbreaker with a face mask pulled down to the side and her hair lightly blowing in the wind. Heavy ash falls consistently through the smoky air, drifting and swirling across the frame in thick layers. Dialogue. I spoke with one mother just minutes ago who said her son was at their campsite when the evacuation was ordered. Then it has camera action, static medium shot, straightforward and professional, focused on the reporter while firefighters walking by and several fire trucks behind her in the background. Then lens information, a 50mm lens, neutral broadcast framing, clear focus, minimal stylization, heavy smoke and ash, thick falling through the frame, and prominent in the atmosphere, illuminated by flashing emergency lights. And the audio sound is a reporter's voice only, no ambient effects, no environmental sounds, no sirens, no music. So you have to get pretty specific on what you want and pretty detailed. And there's other prompts too, where the detail of the characters is much longer than that. But that's an example of the way I write prompts, and I think a good way for people to look at examples of how to write prompts.
So it's really clarity of language is a huge aspect here, right?
Yeah.
So as writers, you're always being told that if you have to be clear and clever, But if you're just clever and not clear, then just err on the side of clarity. Be clear as to where your characters are, what's really happening. Don't confuse the reader. And so, since you're treating the AI tool like an audience, that's how you present it, with the language not being necessarily minimalistic, but you wouldn't use a big word that has subtext and 60
Right.
different meanings. You pick one that is very clear. I want this red, and then you don't say crimson. You say red when you want red.
Right. Unless you actually want it to be crimson, then you can say you want it crimson. I mean, it'll pick up on that for sure. I mean, you can be very, very specific. I think you could use bigger words, but I kind of try and break it down into the simplest way to get the point across, just to make sure. Because sometimes it won't, I say windbreaker, and it could think I meant like wind breaking through the frame or something like that. And all of a sudden it'll have like a gusty wind thing. So it can mix stuff up too. But you have to try, and you try it this way. And if it doesn't work, then you got to go in and refine that area. So and write it another way so that hopefully you'll understand it better that time.
Cool. Well, another question that we had for you is, it has to do with, storyboarding. Did you actually storyboard this out on paper or not? Did you use AI for the storyboards, or did you just not even use them at all?
I used minimal storyboards. I did a outline of the whole thing. I first actually started out just doing some shots, and then I went, I like this. I'm going to write a story. So then I wrote a story, and then we came up with an outline for it that was very specific with like basically the shots and the angles I needed. When I'm directing something in my head, I'm like running the edit through my head the whole time. Mm-hmm. Remember on Flight World War II, when I was working on it, there was part of the time I was sitting there and I had a few minutes of downtime. I was sitting off, like kind of just like staring off and running the edit through my head. And the DP walked up to me and goes, "Dude, what are you thinking about right now?" And I'm like, "I'm running the edit through my head so I know how we're going to cut all this stuff together." And he goes, "Oh, because like we're trying to figure out how this is going to work, but you've got it all laid out in your head, don't you?" I'm like, "Yeah, I've got every single shot we're going to be shooting right now in my head. I know exactly how this is going together in the edit." So that's the way I approach this too. I did do a lot of concept storyboards, mainly using Midjourney, that were kind of like blocking scenes for the overall aspect of it for different scenarios. And that's the amount of storyboarding I did. So that it was probably 2 or 3 storyboards per scene that were overall. And then the rest of it, I kind of have running through my head, and I just would fill in the gaps off my list of shots that I knew I needed.
Gotcha. Interesting. Very interesting. Bert, do you want to jump in with one?
Yeah, in terms of the time spent, so you just explained the storyboarding, but also earlier you mentioned a couple of months of time to work on the project. So it seems to me you're not, and this might be more a beginner's mistake where you, of course, way beyond that. When you start with AI, it seems like, oh, this could be a time saver, but you don't seem to treat it this way. You treat it as a tool where you're still willing to invest the time, in this case, in the prompting, in the writing, to get the right result.
Yeah, I mean, totally. I mean, just doing the editorial aspect of this took a month. I mean, yeah, I could have cut it together and done it, just put it out. But I mean, I'm going through and I'm like, I need to cut 4 frames off here. I need to cut 2 frames off there. I need to redo this shot because I actually need like 5 more frames to make this cut work better. And then doing the sound design and doing the music and doing the color correction. And doing all these things, it just takes time. Like sometimes you don't think it does. And then all of a sudden you're working and the whole day is gone and you're going, wow, I don't feel like I got anything done, but I was really busy all day.
Yeah, I can 100% relate to that.
Oh, absolutely.
I sit there for 8 hours and it was hard work. How many words on the page? Oh, I got 16 for you.
Right. Yeah, totally. Yeah, it's just it takes. It is a time saver for sure. I mean, if you're out, it's weird because it's not. I don't think this is taking away from. In the end, right now, everything's a big jumble of stuff, and everyone's doing a million things. Everyone's scared they're going to lose their jobs. I don't think it's going to take away from like the actual shooting of stuff that would be live action. But for what I'm doing, I can't afford to go out and shoot a short and hire a full crew and actors and everything to do this. And so this is my way of doing that, and a new technology that I think came across really well and told a fun story and looked good. It didn't look like most of the other AI stuff out there, because I wanted it to look like a real project. And I think in the future, you're going to find people blocking out scenes, doing big storyboards, maybe even storyboarding an entire movie with AI that looks like an animated movie, then going out and shooting it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, why not? I mean,
yeah, I can absolutely see that.
Yeah, it's just, storyboarding. When the first time I did a first indie film, I was at the School of Visual Arts in New York City, and everybody there's got fire. At least those that I met. So we went out, and I was able to hire a storyboard artist who was newly graduate from school. And, he was doing odd jobs, trying to break into the business. This is back in, 2003. And I hired him for under $200, and he storyboarded my first indie short, The Tower Protocol. And man, incredible stuff. I mean, I sat with him for hours, and then he went away and he came back, and these things are beautiful. I mean, the art, it's a work of art.
Yeah.
And it helped. It made a difference, right? Because I could show someone, I could show the camera operators, I could show, the cinematographer, this is what I want as a director. And it worked. Mm-hmm. But I'll tell you, I did that. I used an AI app for one of the projects that we did. And I was like, holy mackerel, this is great. And it cost me less today than what I had paid, 20 years ago. And I was like, this is, and so I kind of, you have to use prompts, and it was one of those, very new software, very new platform. They were breaking in, and now they're doing really well. But, I was like blown away on, I was able to storyboard everything for the Tower Protocol Resurrection that we did, which is only a 12.5-minute film. But I was like, this is incredible. But I had to find like someone online that looked sort of kind of like, our lead, and keep telling them, this is what it has to look like. He's, in the dark or in the whatever. And, but it was incredible. The amount of time that I saved and the money that I saved to be able to show someone, this is how I want it to look. It's a tool, like you've always said. But I want to ask you this. In terms of last time when we had you on, you had worked on the reimagined Battlestar Galactica, and you had said that, in your opinion, right, and we all agreed, was that there's like almost like a documentary style to that BSG. And how do you envision that imperfect handheld type of shot using AI? How would that come into play? Do you think that's eventually going to play or not? Or is
I think it's going to. I think it's going to. I'm working on a new short film that's going to have a more documentary hand style in it right now. And
wow.
Even when we were doing the CG on the miniseries, we would have meetings about it, and I would explain to people that the way we're doing this is like, if you have a camera on your shoulder and you're filming it, think of the camera is going to be moving around, and if you take a step, there's going to be a little bit of a bounce. It's going to not be perfect. If you're zooming in on something, you're going to zoom in, and probably you might, if you're an amateur cameraman, you might go a little bit past it, so you zoom back a little bit after you capture it. If you're following something, you might actually go off of it and come back a little bit to reframe it a little bit. If you write that into your prompt, it will do it.
Wow.
So if you say, I want the camera to look like it's on the shoulder of a camera operator who's stepping to the side, I want to see the footsteps reflected in the camera, it will do that.
Wow. So you built in the imperfections go into the writing, basically.
Yes, absolutely. Yes, 100%.
You can get it as grimy and imperfect as you want, basically.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Wow.
It's simple as that. But I mean, you have to do it that way. But a lot of people don't want to go for that look because they're afraid it looks amateurish. So they want it to be a perfect camera, which also makes it look amateurish.
You got to find that kind of like not so much middle of the road, but somewhere between.
It's a style. You have to be very specific and use it in the right settings, because sometimes you don't want that. It can be surrounded by handheld shots. There's some shots you don't want to be handheld, or you want it to just be locked off and just have a little bit of float to it, which will work with the other handheld shots. But if there's an emotional scene that's trying to get across a certain way, you may not want that big handheld moving around because it's distracting. It can be very distracting if it's not used the right way.
Absolutely. We have a question from Tipsy himself has jumped on, and he's thanks for tuning in, Tipsy. I know that you're decisively engaged, couldn't be here tonight, but you are, writing up questions and things.
I think Tipsy just wants his job back.
I was like, dude, relax, man. You can, kick your feet up, do wherever you are, whatever you're doing, just relax. I got Bert on here. We're good to go. However, he wants to know, will this give fans the ability to create fan films better?
Yes, I think so. Totally. I think I watched a clip with Ben Affleck the other day where he was on stage talking about AI. And he was talking about how in the VFX, he's like, the people I feel sorriest for are the people in the visual effects industry with AI, which is true, because that stuff's all merging together because they're the same thing. And it's just a tool in the visual effects world. And right now it's just going like this, but it'll come together and it'll mesh and it'll work out just fine in the end. But he said that he doesn't see AI taking over like actors' jobs or not being able to do, like taking and using, instead of George Clooney, you're going to have an AI actor, things like that. I mean, who knows? Maybe at some point there will be something where he licenses himself to be used in a certain way. But his example was, if you wanted to watch the show Succession and see an episode where Kendall goes to the park and gets a bunch of drugs and then goes off with his dad to some mountain town or just something like that, you can write your own, write your own story, and then you can watch like a kind of version of Succession that you kind of wrote as a fun thing to do, like a kind of like a choose your own adventure book, or maybe like tick off things you want. And that totally makes sense. I mean, I think that's going to be one way that people will be able to use it in a I want to say a non-entertainment person could go, oh, cool, I can do my own story. And like, oh, pick this and pick that, I want them to do this and that and that and that. Okay, cool. Let's all feed it to it and watch the episode tonight.
Hey, it's another tool. As a matter of fact, we had Chris Fian was on, and he's with the 501st, and he was telling us, which I had read a little bit about what he mentioned, that Disney is licensing a lot of their characters for fans to work exactly like you said, kind of use, characters, known characters, including Star Wars characters, and make things like you just mentioned. So it's happening.
Yeah, in Sora, right? I think that's what they're doing. And you can use the voices and everything. That's so much fun for a fan. I want to go in there when I have time and do that, because that's just fun. I mean, and that's what it's about. I mean, that kind of stuff gets people excited. You go, yeah, I can have Darth Vader come in and talk to my son and wake him up at night in a little video. It's funny and it's fun and it's entertaining, and it's all the kinds of good things that's the kind of good things that can come from this.
Yeah, I agreed. Right. I mean, look, Bert, you're one of those guys that is writing modern sci-fi, Galacticide, the series, the world that you've created, the series of books, and you've embraced this concept of AI because it's a tool, right? It can have a negative side. It can have a positive side. I think there is probably more positive than negative, but that's debatable. But for us right now, I don't know that it is this boogeyman. I believe in, the tool, and you have to learn the tool, know the tool, and work with it, and get, let's work, let's get something out of it. And I think somebody like yourself, Emile, is exactly where we need to be. There's a lot of people that are not, and I don't know. I just think that it's not going away. And I think the biggest
sorry, go ahead.
I just wanted to confirm. I think whatever we think about AI, it's not going away. So I think we have to find a way to deal with it collectively and individually in the best way we find. If someone said, I don't want to have anything to do with it, that's perfectly fine stance as well. I think you don't have to, but to say, you know what, I want have nothing to do with it, and then it goes away, that approach I think will not work. It will be here, and people will be using it in different ways, as New York Pete said. So in my writing, it goes from, it is the boogeyman on one part of the spectrum, but it also, some of the best friends of my protagonists are also AI entities. So it covers the whole spectrum. I have very little in the middle because it's not as dramatic. But what we're discussing tonight, of course, it's the middle way. It's the how we can, as people, reconcile with it. How can we make it work for us? And I think you're on the right path there.
Yeah, thanks. I mean, I think the genie's out of the bottle, so I mean, there's no way it's going back in. Yeah. I think some of the backlash that I think people are coming about, and I think it is an issue, is that there's so much AI slop on YouTube, on Instagram, on all over the place. That's just people just doing stuff and just throwing it out, and that's become like what your feed is, all this AI stuff. I think there's a big backlash against that, and I think people are going to get sick of it very soon, and they're going to start just, I mean, not promoting it as much, because those shows, that's what they become, is that, and that's not what people want. A lot of people don't want to watch that, but there's just such a deluge of stuff out there that just, and it's fine. People are having fun doing it, but there's just so much that's being thrown in your face. People are getting it, just, they're blocking it out and just not wanting to see that if they're trying to look for something else. And when that's all you find, I think they get sick of it, and that's where people get frustrated.
Lots of these creators are, let's say, inexperienced creators, right? Do you think you have this advantage of having grown with the industry, having accumulated all this experience, not just for the sake of experience, but also, and I'm kind of hung up on the imperfections. I like it that we have this perfect tool, and to make it look really good, we build in imperfections on purpose. I love that concept. So you know where the imperfections came from classically, right? Because there were limitations to the technology, or the cameraman just, was a little bit shaky or made a mistake. But do you think we've consumed collectively so much of this that we see it as, this is what the real thing looks like, and if it's too perfect, then it kind of is off-putting? You think?
Yeah, because it's like when we're doing CG stuff, when we're doing, like, even on Battlestar Galactica, on Firefly, on everything, where it's a lot of documentary handheld style stuff, we like I was saying, we had to work really hard to put all those imperfections in deliberately. To going into the keyframes and adding the up and downs, and then adjust, shifting those, and sometimes putting little random jitters and stuff in it, so we get that kind of like little wiggle, or that little like weird like little jerk thing that would happen sometimes that you want to put those imperfections in. It's because inherently CG is going to give you a perfect camera. If you put a keyframe here and a keyframe here, the camera's going to go just like that. But if you want it to be kind of like go like that, you have to keyframe every single thing in, just like I'm having to write in every single thing for the AI to give me back the results I want. It's just the same thing as keyframing all those things in, just in a different way.
It's kind of, so I've gotten this a few times, and it's directly relevant to everything we're saying. We are almost talking talking about something that is like, we're talking almost like physics, but it's not. It just so happens that we are familiar with applications, software that uses artificial intelligence, right? It's been programmed. So you get this certain type of software, and that software, these apps that will make an illustration for you. It can be used to create video scenes. It can be used to write and edit for you, right? So it's, this AI, we're talking in general, all of these things mixed together, but specifically using AI in film. right? So it's how do you, harness this new tech, right? And there's software, there's these apps that are out there. Some of them are expensive, some of them are not. The ones that are not right now don't their output is what you get, right?
Mhm.
You pay for what you get. You
Yeah.
get the better ones, you harness this more expensive app, and that software, you write up things, will generate images and video for you, and it uses what we're referred to as artificial intelligence. So it's programmed. So yes, we've kind of done a quick deep dive. Lola says, I'll read what Lola said. It's very interesting, and I know a lot of people are like, getting this impression. Sorry, that's Chris Marshall's. Sorry, here we go. I have to say, all this scares me. I feel I've been left behind. Why you all discussed helps somewhat, but I'm lost. Just FYI. You're not alone, Lola. And
I'm
right?
lost sometimes too.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's
it's
it'll
so fast.
right. Yeah, you were saying how this can leave you behind real quick. I remember, like PowerPoint and some of some of the flow charting and some of the more basic stuff that you used in an office environment. If you don't get a little bit of training or somebody shows you how to do it, and you're just left in front of a computer and you're trying to use Office Pro, it's like, what is this? What how do you put together a fancy, PowerPoint, and you could animate it, right? I mean, I was lucky enough to be sent to school for it, and we got advanced training, and you learn how to animate, slides and do things, crudely, but using PowerPoint. This is the new technology, new stuff that's coming out now. It's all this quote AI, and you're at the forefront. And if you wait too long, I think it'll get lost, and you will fall behind, and you will not be able to, catch up as quickly because there's a learning curve. Emma, where are you going with this stuff? What is ultimately your goal?
Ultimately, my goal would be to make a feature with using AI. I mean, I'd love to do that. I think that would be great. I mean, also, I would love to do what I was talking about earlier, where if I was making, because I really like doing live action stuff. I really, really love it. I'll say that's where my heart is doing live action. What I would love to do is what I was talking about earlier, is do it in AI first as part of the storyboarding process, do the whole movie, and then bring that to set and work off of that as our storyboards, so that people can see the whole movie played back. It's just like how they do animated movies. They have their storyboards cut together. They do the first pass of rough animation, and they have the whole movie there so they can work off it. I want to do that, get to that point with it all at that level, and then go to set and shoot the movie. And then as we move through shooting the live action, of course, things are going to change. We'll be there and go, oh, I bet we could do this if we shot this scene a little bit differently, had the camera over here instead, and decided to change the dialogue and have a couple other people walk in. You can change that while you're shooting it. But I think that would be a brilliant way, a time-saving, a cost-saving thing to do it that way as the production process for a feature film. I love to do a $10 million movie that way. And that's like the sweet spot where you still have, it's still fun. It's still you don't have too much executive stuff over the top of you. It could still be a perfect, like, size movie that's small enough to be good and not big enough to be too, with 30,000 executive producers on it.
Could you see it as a industry internal sales tool then? Something that makes the pitch to the studio easier, because you can basically show up with the movie. And
you could do that. There's a lot of work to be done to do an entire movie like that. I mean, it'd be great to have, like, sell it off of a trailer, and then if they want to move forward with the movie, then have a crew of people together to do the whole feature in a say, a month of time or something like that, if you have 10 people working on it, and then be able to take that to set to work off the project for the live action shoot.
This is incredible. We are not done. This is the tip of the iceberg on some of the other, detailed questions that we want to get into, because, as filmmakers ourselves, this is where we have to be. We have to be involved in this. It's part of the future. It's here and the future. We congratulations on your win. I know there's going to be more wins in your future.
Thanks.
And we want you to come back. So
Yeah.
please, make some time for us little guys. We love talking to you about this stuff, and we have way more questions than time this show. But we would love to have you again. And I know that by the time you come back next time, you'll have other great stuff that you've put out and created. But in the meantime, all the best of luck with everything that you're doing. Please keep us in touch, in the loop on what's going on. And so, we are excited for you and excited for your work.
Thanks, Pete. Thanks, Bert. I appreciate it, man.
Yeah, we're big fans here. Please come back.
Okay, absolutely.
Here's to you and your work. We'll see you again soon. Thanks
you guys.
Bert, we have like a list. We literally have a list of questions that we didn't even get to. And I don't know. We got we did last time like 4 questions. And thank you everybody for, Chris and everybody else and Lola, everybody else that were putting up. Even Tipsy threw in something that we couldn't get to. And so there's a lot of cool things. This is so fascinating. And I know, Bert, you're biting your tongue because you follow this extensively in your writing and world building. But we'll come back. We'll come back and we'll do more. I think, for someone that is not well versed, I have to agree with Lola. And I've done a lot of thinking about this on my own. Like, how do you try to describe this? How do you wrap your head around it? And so incrementally, I think it's better that we kind of do it that way, Bert. We kind of expose, those that are really into it, they pick up on this conversation. And then those that are not, we kind of bring them along. And then there's people in between. But this is incredible. Where else can you get someone that's in the business, that's, an Emmy winner, award winner in various levels of their VFX professional world, and talk to us openly about this? I think it's very cool.
These are great insights. I'm not sure if we address Lola's concern or not, but it depends on where you want the technology in your life, right? As a consumer of entertainment, you watch shows, you read books, you read comics, you collect the merchandise around. However you enjoy these kind of things, and there are myriads of ways. If you like the product, then you don't necessarily have to become an AI expert yourself at all, right? So it's a technology you exists. It's a bit like you couldn't really build your own nuclear power plant, but you know it exists and you know it works, and you might not know all the details, but you have a certain understanding of the possibilities, the dangers too. And I think this is where we should land with AI. I don't think our goal is to promote, become an expert in it or else, not at all. I think having a good understanding of the possibilities and maybe most importantly, the limitations are always great for new technologies. And this one is moving and I'm with Lola on I'm scared about the pace. When an expert like Emile says, I use this and 3 months later, it's a much better model. It seems like a breakneck pace when industry experts have a hard time keeping up.
Yeah, agreed. Well, speaking of industries, we have Phil from Tops, and Phil comes on regularly, and we're lucky to have an expert, someone that works in, non-sports card development and, design. And he's also going to be giving away cards from Tops, right? So there's going to be some trivia, but I'm going to bring Phil on, and we're going to discuss this, and he's going to tell us all about where he's at and what he's doing, and some of, I guess, the promo stuff, and we'll see if there's a new line of cards that he can tell us about. But it's so cool that Phil takes the time out to visit us. And Phil, welcome to IFB. Welcome back. And
how's it going, guys?
Good. It's going great. It's going better now that you're here with us. I didn't, when I saw you pop on, I was like, perfect. He's on, spot on. Phil, what's going on in your world, man? Welcome. Happy New Year 2026. Yes. What's going on? New Year.
Things are going good. I just want to come back on, give you guys a little update on some non-sports cars to see, what's coming out and what's been going on with the market. And I think now we're finally in a place with the entertainment cards where we're releasing Marvel cinematic stuff. So all the MCU stuff is starting to come out now. The first release was Topps Chrome Marvel Studios, which came out last month. And it's a lot of great reception from it. And there's, autos of everybody. It's kind of like a cumulative product of all different movies and stuff. So people are into it. And of course, there's going to be way more MCU stuff down the line. In February, we have something coming out called Marvel the Collector. So it's, more movie content. And also that line will have sort of an Infinity Gauntlet chase within it to try to collect the Infinity Gauntlet. So that's a pretty cool, unique thing for that product. And yeah, there's some even more coming out down the line that I've worked on. The two recent ones that came out, I didn't get a chance to work on those, but I have some more products down the line that are coming out that I've worked on. And yeah, just work's been going good, and people are loving these cards lately.
Yes, they have. As a matter of fact,
they're eating up the cards.
Yeah, a lot of the
hopefully not literally.
Yeah, most of the stuff that you had mentioned had already sold out. I mean, it was just incredible. And you were at New York Comic Con last year. Are you going to be at the next one? Do you know yet?
I'm definitely going to be at New York for this year. I'm going to see if I can get over to San Diego as well. I'd love to go for San Diego. So I'll see. I'll do my best to get up there for be at the Topps booth for San Diego Con. Last time I went was like 2017 or 2018, so it's been a while.
Wow. Yeah. So last time you came, we got to talk Star Wars was one of the franchise stuff. What else can you tell us about other franchises?
Yeah, so Star Wars, there's our most recent Star Wars product is 2025 Star Wars Hyperspace, and that product is all based around the planets. So as you're going through the packs and pulling cards, you're basically seeing which characters come from which planets, which is kind of a unique thing. It's something that we've never really done before. It's only like the second iteration of it. First year was 2024, and now in 2025 they brought it back because it was successful. So I think that'll kind of turn into a year-over-year type of product, which is interesting for Star Wars to kind of see like a planetary aspect of the brand and the product.
Wow. Any chance that you'd be involved in or that Topps would be interested in doing any of the Star Trek stuff?
I mean, it's definitely would be interesting. I mean, as far as licensing wise, I'm not sure where that is now or where Star Trek is now cards wise, or if they even had do you recall the last Star Trek set that was out there? Or
yeah, Discovery, and now there's another one that just got released, and it's like a mix of all the new shows. And like you were saying, there's chase cards and there's autographs from a lot of the newer actors, and so there's definitely stuff going on. It's just that your company is so well known for always being in and on top of things. I was just kind of curious if you'd maybe heard something.
I haven't heard for Star Trek. I mean, it would be. There's definitely a market for it for sure. I mean, it'd be great to see that come back, and be great to see Topps do some Star Trek stuff.
Oh yeah,
I think it probably would need another movie or something like that for it to catch interest of people at the company. I think that's probably what it would need to enter back into the market that way.
Interesting. Bert, how is your card collecting? Is that something that you did you get into that or no?
Not fully, not to the extent like my other crazy collections. So maybe I was spared. I don't know. But I like the idea of planets. Back in the days we were nerd out about this, and I had competitions with my nerd friends about who would know more Star Wars planets, and we would sit there for an hour and just go through what we knew in our then young brains who could actually still remember stuff. So now the cards would be super helpful as sort of a cheat sheet. Yeah, I'm glad you're having those.
Yeah, there's some weird planets that you just don't remember. Like, oh yeah, that one.
Oh yeah, and they were just mentioned in passing, or they were from the extended universe, from the books that were not even in the movies, and even in the books they were just on one page, one mention, but they counted.
Right.
So Phil, the planets, this is only from the movies and what the shows, right? This has nothing, no comic book references, no book references, just what we've been able to see, right?
Yeah. So like this year's design, you'll literally see like a giant planet behind a character. They put like live action as well as animation mixed in too. So you see kind of both, so that you could get like a animation base card as well with like the animated character up front with the planet behind. So that's kind of what the design was this year. And it came out nice. It's cool to see, big planet behind a character like that. You kind of don't really see designs like that. So I thought it was an interesting one.
Yeah. Do you know, have you gotten this stuff? You said they did one, and I remember vaguely you talked about it before. So how are the numbers? Were the numbers had to have been good enough to go for a second run? Yeah,
exactly. That's really what I think. What they, when something becomes a year-over-year product, it can be a risk to create a new product. And I think when I was on, last time, we were talking about the Disney Mint product.
Yeah.
How's it going?
Hey.
And so that's another example where something was successful and it'll continue. So when we make new products, it's kind of also a risk as well. So because you're always going to have your year-over-year baseball cards, you're always going to have your year-over-year soccer, football, that sort of thing. So it's kind of tricky in the entertainment side, where it's like, how can we come up with new stuff and that people are interested in, that are going to continue want to collect it year over year. So I think that the hyperspace one is a perfect example of something that just was popular and people enjoy it and like it, and it grew. And then it also grows too. It's like when it comes out the first time, may not be as large as it would be the second iteration. So we always add to it and try to make it bigger and better the next year.
Interesting. So fascinating. Well, Tipsy, thanks for joining us. Bert did an outstanding job. And
but now it's over, people. So if I drop off in the next 30 seconds, I too have been replaced by AI.
However, we are at the point, I think, Phil, where you have set up a giveaway of some cards that Topps has put up for the fans here at IFB. However, we're going to be doing this by means of a trivia contest. So can you give us the outline of what's at stake? And we already have the questions. 1, 2, 3, 4. There's 4 questions. And so tell us the rules.
Yeah, so I guess first person for each question, the first person that throws into the comment the answer, I guess we'll be able to see when it populates right on the side here. So
yes, we will.
First answer that comes up that's correct, that person will receive the 5 cards for that question. So there's 4 questions. Each question I have 5 cards that go along with it. So I think the first question I had was for Dune, and then I have, for that I have 5 cards to give away for Dune. Next one, Marvel, 5 cards to give away for Marvel, and then 2 Star Wars questions. So
yeah.
each.
So
Go
you
ahead.
gotta. Do you have them with you? You gotta tease
Of
everybody.
course,
You
of
gotta
course,
like.
of course.
If there's a
So-
Jar Jar Binks one in there, I gotta have it.
So we have
Whoa!
these are the 5 Dune.
Mm. Oh, that's nice. Oh wow!
Nice orange one here.
Oh wow!
If you answer that first question correctly, these are yours.
Wow.
I got
Okay.
these are the Marvel. Got Venom,
Oh man, look at that.
Thor, Daredevil,
Shiny like a
Oh, these are
basketball.
nice.
Mr.
Those are
Fantastic,
really nice.
Miss
Wow.
Marvel.
Okay.
Yeah, so this is Marvel Chrome 2025,
Wow.
and then this is Star Wars Chrome 2025. R2
Oh,
Jar
on
Jar,
the
come on, Jar Jar.
Oh
Jar
man.
Nope,
Oh, look at that
Jar
Vader.
Jar,
That's
come on,
cool.
Jar Jar, nope, Jar Jar.
Ray
Ah,
on. Try to go more popular.
Oh yeah, heck yeah. Oh
Jar
my
Jar
god,
Binks
those
is
are
the most
so
popular.
cool. Those are
And
cool.
then also these are the other
Ooh.
Star Wars ones, the
Oh.
sort of the Japanese style ones. I think I spoke
Yeah.
about. On
Oh
the
yeah,
last
yeah.
time.
You talked about
Very
this last
nice.
time.
Oh, look at that.
Yeah.
That's some really cool cards. Woo.
Yeah, so just thought it'd be a fun thing to do for the fleet.
Absolutely. So for you guys that are watching live, right? This is a bonus for those on now. And so we have a trivia question that's been preset that Phil sent us. So the first person that posts the correct answer wins. You guys need to send us your address, and Phil and Tops are putting up not only the cards, but they're also going to be shipping these out to you. So you get us, whoever wins, we acknowledge. You get us your information, and I get that to Phil, and then Phil and
Yeah,
his
and I'll send them
people at
out.
Tops will be
Yep.
sending them out. So Tipsy, I think the best way to get us their information would be what? Info at
Info at interfleetbroadcasting.com.
Could you
Yeah, I'll
put that
that
up? Yeah. So we're gonna put that up. So Phil, whenever you're ready, first of all, before we start though, thank you very, very much, you and Tops, for sponsoring this giveaway. The cards are really, really cool. Thank you for doing that. And
No problem.
sometimes guys, you come on live and this doesn't happen always, but thank you. And I don't know, Bert, you want to go? How do you want to, Phil? How do you want to do this? You want to
I have a slide of the question that might help.
Okay, cool.
Should I just drop it in the chat here, or
You're going to share it up, or
I can screen share?
yeah,
Okay.
yeah, and then this way we can read. We'll read it out loud. So
Give me 1 second.
yeah, we can each read one out loud. So Phil, you do the first one, and then Bert, you'll do, and then I'll go, and then Tipsy will do the last one. And can we cheat? You can cheat, but it depends on
gotta
who.
be first.
You got to be first. If you're first,
can
you're
I
first.
drop off now and go to the comments? Because I'm really interested in the Dune set. I'm a big Frank Herbert fan. Can I please?
I don't know about that, man. You committed to being.
I did. Yeah. Okay. I'll stay on.
No. All right. You have to be first. So even if you cheat, if you're not the first one up, you're not going to get it. But see, that's what's cool about being on live with IFB. All of a sudden, I mean, I did post it. I did put the word out. So everybody that got to see it, that's on now, you should have seen the fact that Phil was coming on and we had a Tops giveaway. And anybody who watches this later, lesson learned, right? And thank you for watching anyway. But sometimes, we get to do these things live. So, Phil, were you able to get the?
I put it. It's doing that thing with the settings. Won't let me screen share, but I dropped it in the bottom here. I don't know if you can see that or not.
Okay, let's see. Oh, there we go. I can add it to the stage. Are you ready?
Yeah, I'll put them all there.
Okay,
So
so
we used to start with that one if you want.
yep, we can. Okay, okay, everybody, get ready. Here it is, and voila.
So what year did the original Dune book release? Of course, you'll get the 5 Dune cards that I showed before. If you answer this first.
All right, let's see
Correctly,
who gets
of
it.
course, correctly.
The timer is on, guys. Let's see who gets it up first. I know that Tipsy, you know the answer to this because I mean I read Dune originally. I read it back in like 1980, 81. I read it as a junior high school kid. I got to read Dune as a choice. I chose that book, and
It's a choice.
It is not 1982.
Sorry, mediocre modeler, not 1982.
But
Let's
try
come
again.
on, man.
Yes,
Yeah.
please do.
Yeah, you can.
From what I understand, is it true that George Lucas kind of was inspired by Dune
Yes.
in some way,
Yes,
right?
he said that that was something that sorry, Erica, it is not 19. Whoa, Lola got it. It is 1965.
1965.
Lola,
Congratulations.
You're the new
Congratulations,
proud
Lola.
owner of these 5 cards.
You win.
Very nice.
Mike
Hey,
the
Lola,
Bruin, you
cheating
came
works.
close, but no cigar. All right, so that's great. All right, that went well. That's how we want to do it. So whenever you're ready, let's go with the next one. So Lola, you're gonna get us the info, and we're gonna have those shipped out. Phil, take care of that. Thanks to Tops for doing that. Appreciate that. So, whenever you're ready, you? Yep. Let's see.
Drop it in.
Yeah. Drop it in, and we'll put that up, and this is gonna. There we go. All right.
So for this question, you'll get the 5 Marvel cards that I showed before. 2025 Marvel Chrome.
Okay, here we go, guys. Boom.
What was Marvel Comics' original name?
That's a good one.
Yeah, that's a.
When I saw that, I was like,
name.
wait a minute. Yeah, I was like, what? I would have gotten it totally wrong.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, I had no idea. So go ahead, guys.
Yes. Comics.
Chris Laskowski, you were right, but Lola beat you to it, man. But here's the next one, man. Let's go. Come on. I'm waiting to see who gets this one. Whoever's first. Man, whoever can put this in first. So
it's amazing that such a strong brand actually had a different name once.
Yeah.
Yes. And the name is kind of weird. Whoa. Oh, Mike the Bruin, it's not Adventure Comics. Hey, so Phil, we didn't Lola got it right. Does that matter? Can she win twice?
That's up to you guys. I'll give it to you guys.
Okay. So
Family comic. Oh, she spelled it wrong. There we go. She clinics.
Yes. Okay, Lola. So this is how we're gonna play this. Since Lola, you already won one, the first one, and you misspelled it. I think it's only fair that the next person up gets it, and that would be Erica Riley. You win. All right. So you got it correct. Timely Comics. So Lola, you won the first one,
or comics,
and Erica wins the second one. Right. So I'm gonna actually jot this down. Lola.
The address is in the chat.
Okay.
Email
perfect.
address for the.
All right.
Send your address to our address in the chat.
Yes, and we will make sure that Phil gets those, and courtesy of Tops, they will send them out to you guys. All right, so let's go with the third question. It's a good one. It's a good one. Thank you, Lola. All right. I'm gonna take that down, and whenever you're ready. Okay, here we go.
This one, we have these Tops Chrome.
This is
Star Wars.
Star Wars.
Ooh,
Get ready,
cool.
guys.
Those are cool.
This is a good one. So
House address.
No, we need your house address so that we can pass it on to Phil at Tops, and they will be sending those out directly to you. So you send it to us, and then we
What was
get
the
it.
email again for them for that?
It's
info@interfleetbroadcasting.com.
There you go.
Yep.
Yeah,
All right.
Phil doesn't trust us with the cards, and right he is.
All right, here we go. Boom.
Oh, Pete knows this one.
What year did Topps Star Wars Series 1 release? I have a complete set, and
Beautiful.
that card is my card is near mint. I just looked
Oh,
at it.
you got to get
yesterday.
it graded.
Yeah, I should, right?
Yeah,
I
that's a
have
big
a
card,
full
graded.
set.
Absolutely.
I went bananas when that came out. I was like, oh my God, this is so cool.
Yeah, that
we
loot
have-
card is
Okay.
penny.
77?
Rob Baum, you got it.
That's correct.
1977.
1977.
Yep.
Oh.
All right.
It was
Well
That was a
done.
nice score. I love those cards.
Yeah.
See,
they
Hello,
look-
Jar Jar. I mean, is there a Chrome Jar Jar? Tell me if there's a Chrome Jar Jar.
That's a great.
Of course.
great
There is.
set.
Yeah.
All right, Rob. Way to
I now
go,
have a-
unofficial
have a new-
fact checker. You win those, and we'll make sure we get those for you. So let's see. We have one more left. And Phil, you drop that in. I'll put that up. So here's question number 4, last question, and it's up and ready. Okay, here we go. Boom.
Then for this, I'm doing the Mayo card, Star Wars Mayo. This is more of a yes or no
Yes,
type
no?
of thing. Yeah.
Did
Did the
first
Star Wars novel release before the original movie? The first Star Wars novel.
Yep.
50-50 chance, guys. Come on.
Not too bad. That makes it a little easier than the others.
Oh yes, I knew this one flat out. I was like,
Oh,
I
you
saw
did?
it
See,
immediately.
Yep. All right,
When I was
where's
trying
the
to come up with the questions, this one I got wrong.
Oh no, this
myself.
one
Yeah.
I had spot on. So
Right.
okay.
James McCoy
Interesting
says
cover here.
after.
Okay. All right. Let's see. Okay, come on. And let's see. And
James McCoy says after.
okay.
Rob Baum says yes.
Anybody else?
Lola says no. Mike DeBrune says no. And well, okay, so you got both of those. So one of those two people are correct.
That's right. Okay. So, all right. So I'm not sure. Okay. So
What's the
this is-
answer?
it's yes. So how do
Okay.
we, I don't know. Well, okay. So we're gonna, all right, guys, we're going to take a minute here to decide the outcome. The answer, of course, is yes. The answer is yes. However, Rob, since we kind of pulled back from Lola winning 2 of the
Twice,
prizes, right? You've already won 1, and so let's see if we can come up with another question that we put out and see if we can redo that last set of cards. Let's see. It's only fair, right? All right. Yeah, Mike, Rob gets it, but Rob already won 1, and now we didn't let Lola win 2. So
spread the wealth.
yeah, let's spread the wealth. I think that's the best thing.
Where's mediocre when you need him? He's a big Star Wars fan.
Yeah, I know. I'm surprised he didn't jump in. I remember I got that right because I was one of those kids that bought the book before the movie came out and read the book. And then when I saw the movie, I was like, wait a minute, there's what? And then, Lucas had made up all of these words that didn't make any sense. Like, it's like, what's a Corellian? What is that? So I thought that was kind of interesting. So let's come up with another question. Bert, can you come up with a Star Wars trivia question?
Absolutely.
Okay, let's
All
do
right.
it.
Which
Birds in the dark.
planet is this creature
Oh.
from?
All right, come on. First one that gets
That's
this,
good.
not you, Rob, and not you, Lola. Those you guys are out, and Erica, you're
victorious
out too.
already.
So it's got to be somebody else. One per person.
Nope, there you go.
All right, mediocre bottle of got it. Hoth, that's right.
It's Hoth, the ice planet.
Okay.
I was just going
All
to
right.
say half, but that was close.
So we spread it out. It worked perfectly because that's the point too. We all got a little bit of fun. Everybody gets a little bit of, something. So Tops, Phil, thank you very much for sharing.
Yeah, my pleasure.
And I think everybody got a good time. And there's a little bit of excitement being on here live, right? I mean, hey, if you came on live, you got a chance to win one of the prizes courtesy of Tops and Phil. So Phil, next time you come back, we want to see some artwork. You got to share some of the project artwork and things like that. Cause we love seeing all that, your work, not only your work, but stuff that you're, involved in. We love all this. So thank you so much. It's always fun to have you around, man. You got prizes, you got art, you got insider, information on background stuff. So cool. And hopefully we'll get to run into you at one of the cons. I think some of the IFB fans went to your booth at New York Comic Con. I know John 1 ran into you, but hopefully this year or next we get to see you in person. And that's a thrill as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, definitely.
If you were in San Diego last time in 2017, it has not gotten smaller this event. I can promise you that.
I'm sure. It was pretty big then. I'm sure it's even bigger now.
Oh, it's incredible. Yeah. Well, guys, that brings us to the end of our show, and
come on.
We had a lot of fun with everyone that came on. Yeah, no kidding. You were out doing gallivanting, doing whatever it is you were doing there, Tipsy. So you're getting the best
planning
of all.
to take over the world.
Right. Bert, thank you so much for filling in the 95% of the show. And
hopefully you make enough money to turn the lights back on.
Phil, always a pleasure having you on IFB. Thank you so much. And thank you for the prizes. We'll get you those addresses. As soon as we get all of them, we'll send them to you all in one shot. And we will list who won, the first one, second one, third one, fourth one. We'll have it all listed for you. And thank you for doing that. Thank you to Tops. Continue the great work. And we look forward to
We're waiting for that Battlestar set.
Yeah, I know. We were talking about it before Star Trek, so we'll see.
We'll see. Tipsy, any last words?
No, tonight, I got to listen in for once, and it was great. Emile's amazing, and everything else was. I only got to catch the last part of Emile's thing, so hopefully we get him back. Phil, thanks again. You're always great to have back, and always great to have here, and you always got some cool stuff. Except you got more Jar Jar stuff. Anyways, and don't forget the Battlestar stuff. We're waiting on that. Patiently, just patiently.
No pressure.
No patience.
I'll have to mail you a Jar Jar car then, I guess.
Pete, I already give Pete that was a Jar Jar alarm clock once.
Yes, that's right. Oh yeah, and the
what
figure too.
Wake up! What a way to start the day.
Do you remember the candy with the tongue would come out?
Yes.
Yeah. Hilarious.
Oh, well, guys, it's that time, and we always sign off with our motto. And Tipsy, go ahead.
Thanks for being here. We will see you next week. Same bat channel, same bat place, and stay warm. I know somebody said it was cold. So cold as fudge. Yes, I understand that. It is cold out there. Stay warm. Some of y'all are down in Florida. You can stay warmer down there a little bit, but not by much, evidently. But thanks for coming. We really appreciate it. Pete, me, everybody.
Everybody.
Yep. Thanks a lot. So important to remember that the fans feel the fleet. I have an imaginary.
I've got a bottle of water, so.
Good enough. Take care, everybody.
I've got low-calorie water.
Yeah. Thank you, guys. Appreciate it.
Thank
you.